Anyways, I'm John Bryden as the Turns Landscaping.
Hit that next.
Good, I don't know how to do this stuff. So we hit this and it goes to the next one.
You're good.
All right.
Well, you.
Look at the gray hair here. Okay? Shore sign, insenility or something. Okay, I got my Mickey Mouse degree from the local college up here at 85, 86. Worked for Tim Amos the next year for a year before I foolishly did some stuff on my own. Yeah, that didn't go well. Anyway, later on, I went into the woods for a while and then right back into landscaping for the last 22 odd years straight. It's been fun, roller coaster sometimes, learning new things, especially with the organics, getting into that. I don't want to fight too much with Sarah on that. She's really organic. I'm not so much on that. So Andrea asked me if I had any good stories about the Valley Credit Union and my time with them. I'll share one. So this is a lumberjack. I've never looked this good in my life. I was in the woods working for a while. My old boss, Wilford Kinsman in Cambridge, I told him I wanted to find a house, something, a fixer-upper I could afford and buy. And anyways, I found a trailer that was run down. And he found the guy that owned it. I went over to procure it. At the time, the Valley Credit Union was very new. I didn't try to go to them or anything to set anything up. My father had just joined you guys a year or so before and dumped all his business with the Royal Bank. So I had spent 2.5 years with the Royal Bank, paying off a loan in the early 90s of 17.75% back there. The good days of the late 80s. Anyways, never missing a payment. I thought I'd be a shoo-in for a loan. But they wanted my father to, they ushered me out of the room and they asked him, would you please change all your business and then we'll give him the loan for $10,000 for 4 acres and a trailer, no problem. So he gave me the money cash out of pocket. I paid him back over time and that's when I joined the Valley Credit Union. So let's go on from there. What's that? Introduction. Yeah, I put this together this afternoon. Sadly, I got stuff to do, so yeah. What do we got there? I can't even read anymore. Yeah, okay. So, how did I get the list, Isaac?
You gotta click on the link. Just skip to the next one.
Skip to the next one. All right, well, we skipped all that. There's a whole list of, a spray list they gave us back in 2010, modified slightly in 2012. It's a bunch of organics that we are allowed to use now. Very few of the heavier chemicals we're allowed to use. Farmers have had some of their stuff cut back too, and lots of extra regulations and labeling and everything else. Because of that, there's a whole raft of changes in, what's going on in your neighborhoods. This one here is moss. This was in a Berwick property I took on Sunday when I was out quoting stuff. So misconceptions about moss, there's things you can do, things you can't do. Most of it's an aeration problem. It's just the ground is stagnated. Anything that doesn't allow air in and nutrient and water to get down in will eventually, the moss and stuff will take over and choke everything to death. You know, it only grows in the spring, it grows in the fall. You just got to break it up a little bit. We had a field years ago up on the mountain. The sheep were just not interested in eating anything off of it. We ran the plows and harrows through it. We had the best crop of grain we ever had. It broke over. It was so much nutrient in it. But that's the mountain. It's way better than the valley and stuff. All right, so moss can be brought right back around if you have a big moss problem in your lawn. A lot of times it's aeration. Yes, the lawns also need limestone, other things like that, but you can add all the lime in the world. It's not going to bring anything back around. You get in there, you rake a little bit out, you aerate it, allow the air to penetrate to the roots, and then, of course, nutrient. Biggest thing of anything for any lawn or garden, water. Okay? The one thing I can't help you with, put her on. Okay, these suckers. These are the ones that are causing the most problems on all lawns in the valley right now. Okay? People don't realize what they look like. So you have the larvae, it pupates after 1 to 3 years, depending on food, depending on how well things go, maybe population as well. And then they turn into the dreaded June bugs. And most of you run from, when I was a kid, those were fun though. You put them in a little pipe and you shot them at your brothers or sisters. Awesome, lots of fun. So you turn a negative into a positive. Yeah. I didn't learn from the good part of things there, Sarah. I learned from the other part. Anyways, June bugs. There's a conventional thing on the spray list that you're allowed to use for these. Nematodes. I'm going to break with convention here. I don't use nematodes. I've tried them a couple times. I did the counting on things before, after, twice. I'm not a big believer in wasting my time and your money, so I don't do them. There is a couple products down towards the States. Works pretty good. It's not legal to put on. It's called Milky Spore. Anybody wants anything on that, I'll tell you, you can get it yourself. Very easy to apply. You only put it on once. It's a bacteria only for them. It's not perfect. Nothing is. But having you waste your money again and again is stupid. So, anyways, there's a product for them. It does do pretty good. Otherwise, the lawns in these things, this is a lawn that has only had a little bit of it for a couple years. Through the center of the lawn there, it's all dead. And with the brown you're seeing, that is crabgrass. Died over the last fall. It doesn't make it through winter. And then, sooner than later, you'll start seeing the birds coming in and do some more damage. The main problem here is it dried out. It had no roots. The bugs ate all the roots off. It dried out. The customer said, what's going on? He's not going to fix it anyway. So. And this is in front of our local Tim Hortons in Colebrook. This is one of my properties, sadly. And out front, it got ahead of us. And the birds did this last fall, and they're busy doing it again. They're also doing it in front of the KCA up here, which means they'll be in the soccer fields next.
And the golf course.
Well, no, the golf courses have chemicals.
No.
Sod farms have chemicals. We do not have chemicals. Anyway, conventionally, all we do is we turn this over a little bit, and we reseed, and we water the hell out of it, and we try to get things to go back up. And maybe the population took a hit on this, and maybe somebody else put something down they weren't supposed to. But anyway, there won't be any chemicals. All right. Cinch bug. This is an adult cinch bug. Chevron on the back, easy to identify. They're very small. They're only like 5 mils or something like that. They only happen in around July 1st. In around there, 2 or 3 weeks. Has to be at high temperatures. These guys don't cause any problems. It's the children. The children all get together. They have a party. They drill in, they inject saliva like a mosquito, juices flow, grass doesn't get enough water, it dies. Right now there is a product you can buy, not from me, you can buy it from Canadian Tire, different places, put it on a garden hose, put it on 0.25% pyrethrum, it's basically a waste of time. Identify the areas, flood the areas. If you can flood the areas for a few minutes, these suckers can't swim, okay? That's the best I can offer you right now. If I could offer you something better, I would, and I'd charge you a lot. So that's how it starts out. They just start out from there, and they start to spread. You know, it starts round, looks kind of like maybe a dog poop spot or something. I don't know. But it just goes and goes and goes, and then people say the next year, my lawn died from cinch. Can you tell? No, I can't. It's next year. Why didn't you check back then? Anyways. All right, so that's a few bugs. There's more stuff. Any questions? I am eminently interruptible. I probably can see some of you, so go ahead, holler. All right. If you see, this is the bunny rabbit from Monty Python. Animal Pets. Nobody ever seen that? You know, he rips the heads off the knights. Anyway. We don't really have a lot of bunny rabbit. I just thought that would be funny to throw in. All kinds of animal pets. There is some things for them, even on the spray list that you can go online and download and look at. And, you know, deer in Kenville, problem. They like a lot of certain plants. If you're in a real bad zone, like up in Deer Haven up there and over McDougall Heights and a few other places, deer are a real problem by some plants, especially cedars. So plant the plants that they don't like as much. Cypress instead of cedars. Instead of a lot of hollies, you have to get in and use. They love those. You get into a few other plants. Lee can probably help you with that a lot more than me. She grows a lot of plants for that kind of stuff. Skunks, other than smelling bad, look at that cute little bugger. Anyway, he comes in, that's when you know you start having a grub problem. They make a conical little hole, they start digging out the little things, and you know, later on the crows come along and turf it all. So, they are a good aerator, yes. And if you water a lot and seed, like right now, we're already seeding Tim Hortons and we're going to roll it back over and hope we get something better out of it. You know, you can get a start on it, the seed right now, but they're still going to be turning things over for a couple of weeks until they get other food sources that are better. Say, a lot of the June bugs are going to start to pupate right soon. So, because they come out in May. And dogs, well, you can take care of the dog spots by extra water. Scratch it a little bit, extra water. Decide what you like more. Dogs, garden. Dog, garden. Yeah. I guess the dogs win, the garden loses. Weeds. I call them weeds because I'm supposed to be making a green lawn for everybody. Other people eat them. Sarah eats them. She does that. Yes. Yeah. There is a product on the approved list for these. Anybody can get some of it in the store. It's an iron-based product. It works fairly good. The website for these things say you have to apply these things 4 times a year, divided by 4 weeks. Not to go over it too much, in order to get a perfect lawn. You'll never get a perfect lawn, even with the old sprays. You'll never get a perfect lawn. There's too many different things, but you know, if you like doing a little bit of yourself, the iron-based stuff does work to a degree. Upwards of 28 with a humidity of 100%, say, it will turn everything black, which is not a bad lawn. So, what else we got here? Crabgrass. Okay, there's no legal spray left for crabgrass still. There's nothing on the spray list. There used to be something in the States. It was up here for a few years. It's not on the list anymore. So, make your grass around it stronger. Keep it aerated every couple of years. Keep the water to it, but only to a degree. You can overwater just as much as you can underwater anything. What's the other one there? The other one is henbit on this side over here. It's spreading, the little purple flowers spreads through the lawns really good. That one doesn't work too good with the iron-based Fiesta stuff. You stay at it. Again, in the days of organics, you have to start treating your lawn with a little less golf course enthusiasm. They're still allowed to use a lot of things that we're not allowed to use. So get the heights up a little bit more. Be a little more aggressive on digging some of those weeds out you don't like. And dandelions this time of year are quite good, so shout out. Okay, weeds that are on the list that I'm allowed to do bad things to. Use some of the old sprays. This is Japanese knotweed. It's invasive, and out west they have a hybridized type that is vicious, taking apart roads and everything else. So we are allowed to lace that one. Nobody's asked me to do that yet. That's upsetting. This is how I make money, so whatever. Okay. There we go. Andrea asked about this one, so I put this one on. Yeah, unfortunately, you can use the iron-based stuff on that. You can use iron-based stuff on this. Okay. It will work to a degree, but it has to be repetitive. Now, also, you can use the vinegar, acetic acid, concentrated. Now, I don't use that at all. I'm a little afraid of using some organics. Some organics are dangerous. In fact, concentrated acetic acid, regular vinegar is not too bad. Concentrated acetic acid you get in your eyes, you might say goodbye to your eyes. So you don't play around with some of that stuff. Anyways, concentrated, you go at it again and again and again, that's fine. If you got plants next to it you love, don't go close to them at all. Because it's kind of like Roundup, it doesn't care. It's just going to kill all the others. Oh, poison ivy, yeah, all right. So I sprayed some of this in Kentville last year. Quite a big piece. The family, they took some shots and everything like that. So it's spreading more because we don't go after it anymore. The Environment Department used to go after, and if you had it on your property and you didn't deal with it, they would come back in and spray it and charge you for it. Those days are gone. Those people don't exist anymore except in fairy tales. So I deal with it. All right, who knows what that one is? Wrong. Who else? Hogweed. Who said that first? All right, Isaac, give to that. Oh, you're going to give a plant too. All right. He's given a CNC thing that we did on recycled plastic there. So. We're starting a new landscape products line, so we brought a few things to ooh and ah and say what the hell is this? Yeah, something big that we're going to be trying to go year round by doing something different. So yeah, I embrace change like the credit union does. All right. So giant hogweed is another import from Asia. It's problematic. It's spreading faster and faster. It seeds heavily. I've never seen it to this height. They say it can get to 8 and 10 feet. I've never seen it this big.
Is this the one with dermatitis?
Yes.
It burns you, right?
It can burn the skin, yes. Dermatitis, yeah. I had to think about that for a second. The worst thing is what it does to your eyes. Macular degeneration. It can destroy your eyes. It's that. There's a few others in this list. They didn't put them all down. This one I'm allowed to, they just tell me to take a picture up here in the Environment Department. They said just to protect yourself and spray it.
How do you distinguish it from Queen's Anne's Lace?
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Queen Anne's lace, well, it flowers about the same time. The flowers on these are quite a bit bigger. The leaves are totally different. Queen Anne's lace is wild carrot, okay? And it gets fairly tall, and the flowers can get fairly big or whatever. Has a white root, and it has leaves like a carrot. All right, you can dig it up and eat it. It's not a big plant. So this, don't do that. This you're allowed to put Roundup on. You're allowed to put on a lot of other stuff because you do not want this on your property. All right. So other things I'm allowed to deal with in a vicious way, of course, hornets and ants, fire ants, not regular ants. Regular ants I'm not allowed to do anything with. Anything that bites, according to the rules and regulations, we're allowed to do stuff with. So I think that's all my pictures. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I talked to that. Oh yeah, I just put that in for fun too. Yeah. I grew up on a sheep farm. I thought that was funny. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. There you go.